Hey guys, what's going on? It's Stef here. Hope you've been well. I know I have. Before we hop into this week's episode, I'm going to give a shout out to my new friend John. He treated Nicola and I to a tour of the historic district in his town. He is a subscriber and reached out to me via email to see if I'd be interested in coming out, and I said, absolutely. Now, we didn't have a whole lot of time to hunt that day because it downpoured. I mean, the sky just totally opened up, and while I did continue to dig a little bit when the sky opened up, it's very, very difficult to film in the rain. My phone is not waterproof, and that's what I'm still using to film my digs, at least right now. However, one of the homes we spent the most time at, we pulled a lot of really great relics from the ground, and I can't wait to share that with you. And yes, as the title of this video indicates, I think one of those relics is haunted. I'm not kidding. Stay tuned. Oh, and in case you haven't heard, I am now a proud affiliate of KELLYCO metal detectors, so if you need anything detecting related, gold prospecting, you name it, shoot me an email. It's stefdigs@gmail.com. I should be able to help you out, and maybe I can even get you a bit of a discount. All right, let's hop in. Well, I could tell this is going to be a really hot yard. John, the subscriber who reached out to me and brought us out here, has only been here once. And no one else has ever beat it. And it shows. I don't know what this is, but it's awfully fancy. Looks like it's broken here. Unless it's meant to be that way. So this is silver-plated brass of some kind. Again, really no idea what it was. It rang right around in the 30s. It was only 4 inches down. I do think it's fairly old. But I'm not sure what it is, so hopefully I have an ID by the time this video comes out, but if not, let me know. And not 2 feet away, and this is really going to be hard to pass up any signals here, not like I usually do, but I had a 75. It sounded like it was on the surface. I just basically took the hand digger, and I found these 2 things. I don't know what they are. They look like they're somewhat ornate. But your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea. But hey, we'll keep moving. Okay, again, just walked a couple of feet. 4 inches down, I got a 30 signal. I can see what it is. It is a garter clasp, I think. Or a sock clip. Looks like it has something on there, but given we're finding so much right now, and we might get thunderstorms, I don't want to stop and brush this off. I'll save that for any coins I find or anything especially interesting, but wow, there's a lot here and it's pretty shallow. Well, I'm not in the front yard now, I was out in the side yard before. I got a 69 to 70 signal, is about 8 inches down. I've got something round. I was thinking maybe an Indian. Oh geez, it's a weedy, I can see it. Okay, better luck next time. So at this point I'm getting pretty excited because I'm pulling up a lot of targets and I'm detecting on along as you do, and then this pops up. And I was talking with the property owner right after I dug this. Really cool little brass piece. I don't know if that's supposed to represent a bird cage or what. Doesn't appear to be any kind of fixture on the back, so I'm not really sure what it is. But it's fancy, and it still has enamel, so I mean, this is probably 1800s at the very earliest. Now, when I first pulled this piece from the ground, I did have my suspicions on what it might be, or what that bird cage might represent on the front. It's an urn. But I wasn't 100% sure, and I was standing there actually talking with the property owner for quite a while, right after I pulled it out of the hole. So given that I had spent quite a bit of time chatting with the property owner, as I do, I can't help myself, you know me, I like to talk, I quickly put this in my pouch and moved on. Little did I know, this is going to be my second favorite find of 2020 so far. It's incredibly rare, these do not turn up often, and it's for a good reason. The reason is, this is actually a late Georgian to early Victorian mourning brooch. So 1830s, 1840s, right around that time. Now, what's a mourning brooch? Well, a mourning brooch, or a piece of hair jewelry, as some might call it, is something that a woman would wear in a certain state of mourning, because there is an etiquette, which we're going to get into, after a loved one had passed. Now, the etiquette is very interesting, and that's one of the reasons I'm so happy I found this piece, because I actually learned a lot when I was trying to go ahead and make this video. So let's take a look at that. Now, in the Georgian and Victorian eras, mourning was no joke. You had to take it very seriously and follow a really specific set of rules. One of which we'll observe right now is the timeline. For example, if a woman's spouse passed, it was a mourning period of 2 to 3 years. That's a long time. And with this mourning period, you would have a particular set of clothes to wear. I'm just using a spouse as an example, by the way, because there are different periods of time for which you're supposed to mourn depending on your relationship. So say the mourning period is 2 years for the woman's spouse. She would be expected to wear certain clothing for certain periods of time. Let's observe. For example, let's take a look at this clothing right here. This is what's called full mourning attire, and you were only permitted to wear non-reflective black fabric to show your mourning. In addition, you were also expected to wear a dark bonnet with a veil over it. And that stage of mourning could go on for a year. Imagine wearing that kind of stuff in the heat of summer. Ow. Now, additionally, in the state of full mourning, you were not permitted to wear any jewelry whatsoever. That was reserved for the second stage of mourning, which is called half mourning. This is when the woman was allowed to expand her wardrobe into other colors, including white, gray, and purple. And she was also permitted to wear jet black jewelry, including mourning brooches. So it's pretty easy to pinpoint what stage of mourning this woman was in when she lost the brooch. Second half of her mourning period. Now, what's interesting about my brooch is even though I did have an idea of what it could be, I didn't really see the details until I got home. When I got home, I noticed that there was a very clear willow tree hanging over what I now assumed to be an urn. This is a typical Georgian mourning motif, a willow tree over an urn or a grave. Now, I didn't see any fixture on the back, so I really had no clue what it came off of. I initially thought brooch, but then I thought, well, there's no pin on the back or anything that would indicate the fact that it's a brooch, so what on earth is it? But it turns out that it is a brooch because I did some research and you need to see this. I found an exact match online. This is listed as late Georgian, so again, this is going to be 1830s, and I would say on the outside about 1840-ish. You can see very clearly that I found just the insert that goes inside of a gold frame. Unfortunately, I did not find the frame, but I did find the most important piece, aside from the hair, of course. And the hair would have gone behind the little piece of glass that's on the face of the urn. Now, when I found this, as you saw me pull it out of the ground, it was bent up and mangled a bit, so I am not at all surprised that I didn't find the rest of it, because when the dirt was shifted, or they put any fill dirt in there, etc., I'm sure it got spread all over the yard, which is very sad. So again, extremely rare find, and last but not least, this episode has its name for a reason. I didn't share this with anybody on Facebook yet. I haven't even talked to my friends about it. I wanted to save it for the YouTube video. It didn't really occur to me, but after I'd gone on that hunt with Nicola and John, I had a few nights of really horrific nightmares, lucid dreaming, and I never remember my dreams. Now, we all dream, but we don't always remember it. It's really atypical for me these days to have lucid dreams. So when I told Nicola about this, she jokingly said, haha, maybe it's that brooch that you brought home. You know what? Maybe it is. Now, I have never dug what I consider to be a haunted relic before. Everything stays on the shelf as it should, and I've never gotten a weird vibe from anything. But what I also noticed after I brought this home was a lot of the time I got near the brooch, I would tend to drop things, and I'm really not sure why. I mean, I can be kind of a butterfingers, but it just happened too many times for me to think it was natural. So with all of that said, the activity has largely stopped, but you can imagine the emotion that would have been attached to this very, very special piece of jewelry. This is the last memory someone was able to hold of their loved one, and I can only imagine the torment that this woman went through when she realized she had lost her brooch. And with all that said, I am curious, have any of you ever dug something that you think is haunted? Drop me a comment. I would really love to hear your stories. Okay, back to the show. I just got something I love to find. Looks like we have a thimble, which is awesome. This was reading in like the 50s, 20s. It was bouncing all over the place. Looks like the top is missing. And I don't think it's a tailor's symbol. I think it's actually missing because it is in fact broken. That's a great sign though. It was about 8 inches down. Yeah. All right. Hope to be back with you soon. All right, so still in the front yard. I'm right by the base of this big tree. Whoops, we don't want to show the house. I'm right at the base of this big tree, blocking mouse, and I got a 30s signal. It was reading 6 inches down. I just took it out. I'm pretty excited about it because it appears to be a watch winding key, and it's really ornate. I think it's broken. You know what? I'm not sure. Yeah, probably is. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to brush that off, come right back to you, because I think it has a really nice pattern on it. That's worth showing. Well, I can't say I made it any better. I think the dirt was adding some contrast. But it's got like a floral pattern on this side, I think. And a different kind of floral pattern on the other. It's really cool. I'm going to recheck the hole, see if I can't find more of it. If not, though, that's really pretty. That's only my second watch winder ever, so... Okay, very cool. Alright, we're doing a little check-in with Nick and John over here. John's the one who invited us out today. And we have, you said you got a hinge?
It's just a little brass hinge.
Yeah.
Nothing too exciting.
Did you get that lock piece, too? I was just looking at that with you.
Oh, the lock piece, yeah.
You look pretty ornate.
Where did the lock piece go?
Underneath all the iron, of course.
Lead.
Yep.
Everything we don't want to find.
Got a lot of finds cases.
Yeah, real hopeful am I.
Well, that's the way to be, though.
You know, washers and
Yeah.
all kinds of garbage.
We're the typical stuff. Well, while you're digging for that, we'll look at Nick's stuff for now. So she got the back of a 2-piece button. This is tomback material. The face would have been pewter. And we actually found these a lot at the Revoir prison site. So if you guys have watched that, I do have a playlist up. If you want to go watch that, it was find after find. It was incredible. And we all dug a bunch of these. So that's very early. That's probably like mid-1700s, maybe even a little earlier. She got a little 4-hole sewing button, it looks like. Probably about 1800s. I think this is a candlestick base. I think it's about heavy enough, probably. Oh, you got your lock plate out?
Yeah.
It's gonna be fancy. Like
Yeah.
I said, just throw that on some, room temperature peroxide, and that'll be pretty cool. So,
Yeah, found this too.
Oh, you
Not
did?
sure
What
if
is
it's,
that?
Probably modern, but
yeah, it could be like a watch. Yeah, it's part of a watch band, I think. But yeah, this is pretty cool though. That was at the first property we went to. I didn't film there, but I wasn't really finding anything. We were contending with a electric fence, we think. So, and this, which got her going a little bit, I think is the inside of a mason jar lid because she found it with some porcelain in the hole. And I like that piece. Can you pull that out? So she didn't know what this was at first and came up to me. And you can just make out actually grab this.
Well, yeah, it's a pewter spoon bowl.
Yeah, it's a pewter spoon bowl. This is the rat tail there.
oh yeah, I see.
And
Yeah, that's
so
old.
that is very, very old. That is early to mid 1700s. So
Found at a 1720 house.
there you go. Yeah.
Should have checked that hole a little bit.
I think you should have. Oh well. No matter. Anyway, be back with you soon. Now I'm on the other side of the house. John had found a complete shoe buckle right around here. So I'm bottom feeding. Very late because he found that a long time ago. But I got a signal reading in the 30s and 40s. It was at least 10 inches deep. And I may have another thimble. I'm not sure because I wasn't seeing, dimples on the side of it. But I do see kind of a pattern there. Yeah, that's another thimble. Check that out. This one's not complete either. I guess maybe I should make it a goal to get a complete thimble by the end of the day. Alright, that's awesome. Okay guys, that's all for this week. We're going to hop into the wrap up. But first, as always, if you haven't already done so, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell if you liked this video. On to the wrap up. Okay guys, it's wrap up time. I'm going to try to keep this quick because we still have hornets and they're going after me every time I'm out here. So, this is all the porcelain and pottery I found that day, including a clamshell, which is pretty cool. I found that in the hole with another signal, which I think ended up being junk. But this was just, the food of the colonial era. So it's probably a 200 or 300 year old clamshell. Kind of interesting. These I still don't know what they are. They seem to be more modern because they're threaded at the bottom. But I would be very curious to know. So if you know or have any clue, point me in the right direction. Leave me a comment below. I'd be very curious. let's see here, the weedy. This is actually a stand-in weedy because the one I found was so burnt and so gross, I think I ended up tossing it. This I did not get to film because there was too much noise going on in the yard. I found this at one of the first properties we visited that day, and they were getting tree work done, so I really couldn't film it. I believe this is a Victorian ledge picture hanger, so I'll throw a picture up on the screen right now of what this would have looked like and where it would have hung. You can definitely see that it's broken here. It would have just come out a little bit more and curved upwards right there. So that's a pretty cool piece. I've only ever dug one before, so a couple of thimbles, very happy with those despite the fact that they're broken. This little mystery item, still don't know what it is, but I couldn't show you in the video since it was plugged with dirt, that there's some iron guts in here. Somebody suggested a bell on Instagram. I don't think so. Someone else suggested possibly a brush handle for a really short brush with horsehair. I forget exactly the usage of that, but that could be what it is. I really have no idea. Thoughts and suggestions are welcome. Oh my goodness. Wow, I almost dropped that on the most valuable piece. Awesome, Steph. Okay. This is that watch winding key. All the patina came off once I got it home, but you can actually see that it's clearly a fleur-de-lis that's on there, which is really neat. The other side is pretty toasted. But I love that. That's only my second one I've ever found. And it's definitely incomplete because there would have been a loop here to attach it to kind of a colonial keychain, if you will. It probably would have been on the same chain as a wax seal matrix or something like that. These couple of garter clips, they're not very old, I don't think at all. They say security on them. I'm going to go with early 1900s, really not too old. I dug one on camera, and then the second one, it was pouring out when I dug it, and I don't have a waterproof camera, so there you go. And obviously, the find of the day has got to be the 1830s to maybe 1840 mourning brooch. Just absolutely awesome. I have it in a coin flip right now. This is a dollar size coin flip. I will find a better way to display this. I just wanted to keep it safe for now because it just really is a very important piece to me, and it was certainly precious to somebody else. So overall, not a bad half-day hunt. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this week's video, and we will see you next week.